Good morning. It's 3:04 a.m. I'm on my way to the gym right now. Let's talk about how every single morning is a battle. Let's talk about how life in general is a constant battle. And when you put it in that when you phrase it like that, it seems as if you're constantly in a state of flux, like you're fighting against something. It's like, I remember I was walking out of my son's parent-teacher conference yesterday, and I wasn't happy with what was being said to me. But I remember walking to the car. I don't remember if anybody was saying anything to me or I was just in my own kind of deep thought. But I remember saying, stop jumping from battle to battle. Because I had just earlier that day had a couple victories. And it seems like the moment I walked out of his parent-teacher conference, I was at the crossroads of, do I go and fight this battle, which is this problem, which is this issue, which is anything opposite of victory? Or do I stay celebrating the victory? And you really got to weigh out that. Obviously, if it's something like terminal cancer, yeah, I think you're going to have to go there. But if somebody flips you off and cuts you off, some people are like rabbits, constantly chasing after the next problem. It's like you just got out of one problem, let's go find another problem. But I say all that to say is that first thing in the morning, that's where the devil wants to win. He wants to win your morning. He knows that if he can start to manipulate how you feel the moment you wake up, that he can control you the rest of the day. Sometimes I gotta wake up and I gotta say, man, thank you, God. Because it will be so overwhelming. I mean, literally things that are not true. Problems that haven't even come up or been mentioned are running through your mind. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if this client falls through? What if this doesn't approve? What if this appraisal doesn't come back? What if my wife and me? What if we get into an argument? What if? And they will drive you crazy if you let it. Because the moment you let one what if in, the door opens up and they all start running in. A bunch of what ifs. And now throughout the day, you find yourself constantly fighting battles. And never once stopping to celebrate your victories. I know people, especially in my business, it's hilarious. Because we got about 3 or 4 different steps or processes that could cause an individual to doubt whether or not the outcome is going to be favorable. I mean, literally, there are. I mean, they're standard, but I mean, there's 4 different pressure points within a transaction in real estate that could have you on edge. if you're that kind of person. Now, if you're the kind of person that kind of takes it as it comes, you're not affected. But if you're the kind of person who's constantly looking for the battle, yeah, it gets a little funky. And never once stopping to say, why am I fighting this battle? Why am I not celebrating the victory? There had to have been about 2 or 3 times yesterday where something had come up. And I'm going to tell you how good God is. 2 or 3 times an issue had come up that had caught my attention. And those 2 or 3 times I had to remind myself that before I go into another battle, did I acknowledge the fact that I had just won some victories? I guarantee most people are not conscious enough to say, hold on, do I have any victories today? Well, I got to work on time. Victory. I woke up. Victory. And when you start weighing your victories, I mean, the things that were favorable to you, against the things that were trying to oppose you, maybe the next thing that comes at you, you might just say, you know what? I got victory on me. So this too shall pass. This too will be removed. And I'll be in victory. Certain battles you can't avoid. I get that. Certain battles, you know, it's in front of you. It ain't going nowhere. But what I've noticed is those battles are very far and few in between. It's very rare. But you'll start noticing that every time you have a victory, there'll be 3 or 4 faux battles that'll pop up right behind it. And all they want you to do is forget that you're in favor. That's it. That's all that the devil's doing is throwing more battles at you in order for you to forget that you just had victory. I remember them talking about how David in the Bible would come back from battle, and he loved coming back from battle because the women would be waiting for him, and they would have food, and they would be singing, and they would be dancing, and they would let him know, we recognize you've just got victory. And sometimes in your mind, you might not have somebody physically dancing, physically singing, but sometimes you got to take yourself out for dinner, sing a song. And all I'm simply saying is don't be in denial about things and about battles. All I'm saying is give yourself enough time to celebrate your victory. Because the more you celebrate your victory, the more and more you start recognizing that not every battle is meant to be fought. Not every battle is deserving of the same amount of attention. So that way when all the ifs start bombarding you, remind yourself of the victories that you had the day before. And I guarantee everybody has some victories. Everybody has some victories. You just have to remind yourself of them when the what ifs start coming at you.